You there. Keep your hands where I can see them. Halt! What's an Auntie's choice monstrosity doing here? Have you come to spy? So confusion and disruption, I'll not have it.
Good, because I ain't bringing it. Though if you're that desperate to test my patience, by all means, keep it up.
Patience. As if you infiltrators possess as much, feverishly raising our lands wherever you go. You are fortunate that I've been ordered not to open fire unless fired upon.
They never listen to sound advice, do they?
Some folk are dead set on going their way, even if it's straight out an airlock.
I will not suffer an outsider to trespass and trample further through our lands. Turn back from this bridge now, lest my ever-depleting prudence be spent. There is nothing beyond this chasm neither you nor those Auntie's choice imbeciles behind the hill should concern yourselves with.
Protest as you like, but Protectorate's got no authority over us. We'll go where we please. And thank you to steer clear.
You outsiders come here and spit in the face of the Sovereign, then claim it is we who are wrong. I have half a mind to apprehend you for your impudence. Out of the question. Must I repeat myself? If you are not a loyal Protectorate subject, you will not cross this bridge. Be grateful I do not judge with such haste as my superior to the north, Brigadier Montelli. He's been fervent of late, looking for any Protectorate subjects who have displayed disloyalty in his estimation. Any associations with wrongdoers results in swift execution. That has, unfortunately, put many folk in his sights, myself included. And so we wait for the proverbial axe to fall. Well, don't you have a penchant for solving problems? You know, I may have a use for such an attitude. I know of 2 traitors who yet remain on this island. Bring them to me, and I'll dispose of them before the Brigadier questions my loyalty and deems me guilty by association. In return, I shall grant you clearance to cross the bridge. Fair exchange, wouldn't you say?
This is exactly the manner of depravity we mean to free these folk from. I know we gotta cross the bridge, but there must be an alternative. One that don't involve an executioner.
Even if said strangers deserve to be brought to justice? Allow me to offer another solution. Hand over your companion here. A grafted soldier on display would surely make an impression on Montelli. And us all.
You're out of your mind. You ain't gonna use me to solve your problem. You're just dragging out the inevitable. Tell her, Commander. See? So how about you take that suggestion and shove it right up your...
Yes, you've made your point. Now, can we come to some other agreement, or will you stand here wasting my time? I commend you for your eager interest. I think 2 traitors in particular. First is Ida Rutledge, a worker at Spire Grove. I once had utmost respect for her. We were... oh, damn it all, we were friends. When the Grove went silent during the invasion, I assumed she'd fought to the death as any subject would. But reportedly, she's not only failed to die, but is also teaching the enemy soldiers how to use the equipment. Conspiring against us. Such treachery is unconscionable. Saving oneself at the expense of one's loyalties and one's duty to defend their homeland is not survival, it is damnation. Never would I have imagined she would spit in the face of all our values. What I do is for the greater glory of Arcadia, not for my own selfish interests. Know this, I am an instrument of the Protectorate, and so shall you be. With that matter sorted, I simply require the second traitor in hand, Charlton Weintraut of Westport. It should not escape your notice that we share the same surname. He too failed to die defending his home during the invasion alongside the other residents of Westport. They'll be seen to in time. But Charlton, well, I must deal with him personally. Oh, how I anticipate wiping that smug expression off his face. So Are these orders clear? I am not. And with luck, I will not have to pull his once justice has been meted. Anyone who allowed the enemy to overrun their land is a traitor. So yes, my dear cousin must answer for his crimes. Now go. Remember, once I have both traitors apprehended, you may cross the bridge. But beware if you step out of line. Other subjects may not be so generous with their deal-making as I. Farewell.
I can fly!
Jackson! Jackson! Twitch your broken legs if you can hear me, Jackson! Oh, law. I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allow the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. Dying, actually. Dying in a fairly slow, agonizing manner. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. That's right. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough. I can't fathom no sensible motive why she'd jump.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts. What? It's your duty as a subject to...
No, Liza, remember, you're not Protectorate anymore. So, what have we talked about? A duties only.
Discharged if the disbursement is dutifully deserving. Right. Sorry, I'm just a little flummoxed by being stranded up here.
So, bits, stranger. We'll give you bits if you get us down before we starve. Poor Jackson wasn't raised in the Protectorate with a mind for science, and mistakenly thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So he jumped the opposite way I told him. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they could give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault. What? But that doesn't make any... Look, are you gonna help us or not?
Thank the Sovereign. Thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life, utterly absent of starvation. Bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, a spending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy? That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards.
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, At least I'm glad I'm not alone. He hadn't been here terribly long, so we weren't particularly familiar. Like me, he was also former protectorate, but he was not raised in Fairfield, so we'd never met before. Still, he seemed like a friendly, kind sort, albeit a headstrong one. Please do hurry. I've lost count of how many meals we've missed, but it is closer to many than a few, and we're starving. You're really something else, stranger. Thank you for getting us down.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
I agree with Liza. I'm inclined to keep a few paces from farming equipment from now on. Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't as awash in currency as I'd prefer, so you can have my helmet as well. It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest. But to be honest, I'd like a little distance from plants for a spell. Not gonna lie, my thoughts are plagued by the notion of perishing atop that picker. Though I can't reconcile if I'd have starved, parched, or followed poor Jackson to the ground. Well, you found her. Or at least most of her. She's the brainwashed lout who opted to jump into the gears of the picker instead of living a rewarding life of self-determinism. Honestly, I shudder with baffled confusion even thinking of such a thing. But I guess that's the benefit of being reared in a society that values our value. Thanks again for getting us off that literal ledge. Though with our gratitude meaningfully expressed through the requisite bits, I'm not sure we have anything more to discuss.
I see you have not brought my cousin to heal. Have you at least seen about Ida? What? How do you know this? Keen as I am to entertain this, am I expected to take traders and corporatists at their word? Let me see that. Yes. Yes! This does appear to be hers. Unfortunately, there are reports of the Harvester having been repaired in the wake of her sabotage. Though her triumph may not have endured, it was a good effort nonetheless. Should Montelli deign to interrogate me for my associations, I'll be certain to inform him of her patriotism. Inspiring, isn't it? Ida's final gift to me was one of enduring loyalty and self-sacrifice. And I will benefit from it, just as she very well might have wanted. I am thankful for the report. Now I just require my fool of a cousin in hand. Be on your way.
I hear correctly that you brought us automech parts? Why, thank you kindly, outside.
The matriarch and sovereign chose Eden, the perfect ecotope, as our home, and devised the paradigm as a great way to maintain it. Appeared right out of the aether, just as I imagine our proud sentinels do. Like, here I am, your innermost thoughts are known to me, and nobody once hears from you again. Caught me reciting passages from a beacon to the cosmos, illustrating my steadfast fidelity. All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the sovereign. That part always hits me directly. To quote my personal log, an essential passage, rightful and true. Charlton Weintraut. Oh, it's that, homespun metaphor. The protectorate as a happy, attentive family, the sovereign smiling beneficently at the head of the table, all such, so forth and the like. Say, you are every bit you seem, yes? Thoroughly on the up and up and in no way a hidden agent? It is widely known that a sentinel is required to stand revealed before rendering judgment. Why, a plot point about that featured prominently in the latest episode of Red Cloak.
Of course you believe everything on the Aether Wave. I guess it would be stranger if you didn't swallow the propaganda, even if it does take some heavy dramatic license.
Well, you appear to be far more fluent with Sentinel procedure than I. Veiled implication understood. If you'll excuse me, I best return to my work tasks. If you were a Sentinel, or in some Sentinel-adjacent role, I'd of course be honored to have you inspect my belongings. Unfortunately, my house is currently besieged by Crabbles. In any case, back to it.
We must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors.
You have the gratitude of everybody in Westport, especially me.
We give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Yes, they will.
Liquidate 'em!
Sit or sprint? Typical predicament for an anti-bottom runger like me. Wish I never snuck in here to begin with. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Nah, it was a great idea. So much stuff to take around here. Motherload of loot. Plenty to get me back in the sprag race. Just didn't account for all these Crabbles. Real fly in the old ointment. I could just sit tight, live lean off all these supplies, hunt the Crabble skedaddle, or maybe open the door and bolt. Seems like a good idea. Nah, it's a great idea.
Have the gratitude of everybody in this sport, especially me.
The matriarch working
Ah,
with and
the Outlander I spoke with before. What brings you back around? Why, that's wonderful. I'm actually quite relieved a fellow customer like yourself somehow saw through my carefully maintained act. Others in Westport fail to perceive my true nature. I am hardly one of the herd around here. A reference you'll no doubt recognize from those keen Auntie's Choice commercials. Ha! I am not familiar, though that does sound like one of their products. I refer to the ones for Purple Berry Crunch brand cereal. You likely guessed their influence right off, what with my assertive attitude and all. I laugh at danger. I hand-make my own luck. That character is a revelation. You and I are just like him. Get up and go-getters. Say, did Auntie's Choice send you here? Don't fret, I am exceedingly skilled at keeping secrets. If I am not the person for it, I would be most surprised. Do tell. I normally might, but my cousin, the warden there, freely enjoys stringing up Auntie's Choice sympathizers, and Marilyn would grant no reprieve to family. That seems neither prudent nor wise. I value my neck and do not intend to hang. Why, that sounds like something only a true get-up-and-go-getter would have the sand for. Well, all right then. I will pack my things and head out in due course. Glad this world has folks like you just going around helping people realize their enormous unrevealed potential. I, for one, am the better for it.
Sleep well at night. Work isn't strenuous or stressful.
You've brought me my poor, hapless cousin. If only it were under better circumstances.
I don't believe there is any circumstance, cousin, in which you would celebrate our meeting. Whatever you intend to do, I can only hope you do it quickly.
Patriarch have mercy. So he has not only turned traitor, but he has also fallen prey to corporate manipulations. I thank you for bringing this to my attention. Look at you. Your lips are stained with snacks and Auntie's poison chalice. You have shamed our family.
Say what you might, cousin, but that sugary snack goodness was worth my life. I'd do it all again, had I an additional life to spare.
If only you had not strayed so far from home. Cadre, you know your orders. With that, our arrangement is concluded. You may cross the bridge. Remember, there will be no negotiations, no staying of hands north of the bridge. If you step out of line, may the matriarch have mercy on you. Montelli surely won't.
Commander, I think you and I need to have a chat.
You didn't so much as flinch, handing someone off to the warden to be executed like that. Was passage across the canyon truly worth the price? But you didn't explore any other avenue, did you?
The Protectorate care nothing for the lives of others. You know this, and still you went and made a deal with them. This is exactly the kind of shit I'm fighting against. Lives being given about as much thought as a dime changing hands. I spit on the notion. This war zone is not your playground.
To get ahead, to climb the ladder, yeah. I've heard all of that before.
You best think on this, Commander. When you stand back and watch an innocent go to the slaughter, you've picked a side. But these folk will crush the life out of you too, if you let them. right, I'll try to believe you. Should we get going? Ain't no use lingering. Let's get across.
One step closer to DeVries.